Hello and welcome to another episode of the MTG Arena Run. Today it's a weekend and we're going to be doing our draft of what's today? Hour of Devastation. So without further ado, we're gonna jump right into the draft. We're gonna jump right into the gameplay. Okay, I'm kinda getting the hang of this. Yep, there's a little flickering there, but looks like everything's okay. So without further ado, let's pay the piper. Okay, I'm pretty much gonna start with the Locust God, but let's take a look at what we're passing. This one's actually gonna be tough. We take Locust God. We are passing. We're more likely gonna be blue. The only decent one I can see is Riddle Form. It's a little decent red. If I didn't take Locust God, Overcome is an easy pick. I'd be looking for creatures on that end. Nothing to write home about in white or black. Now, most normal cases, drafting a multicolored card is not something you want to open with because there is no guarantee you're going to get a sufficient amount of one or the other colors, even to just make this a splash. So we're taking a bit of a risk here. In fact, what we're probably doing right now is what we consider forcing the deck. It kind of helps us that this deck barely gives any signal at all, considering, well, what do you get? No, 3 deserts down here, single white, single black. It's a little bit of a mess. We're definitely not going to be green at this point, that's for sure. So we're going to go with Locust God. And we got another copy of Riddle Form. Striped White River Winder. The cycling actually combos well with Locust God. So that's something to consider. Cycling helps. Would I rather have... Okay. Riddle Form is basically a constructed card here. We're not going to be running a lot of non-creature spells. If you've seen my video on the Is It Spell Weaving deck, that deck is a good percentage. Even we ended up eventually somewhere close to a little over 50% spells for the deck, not counting lands. So we're going to just start with Striped River Winder. But we are going to note that we're going to have to start looking for stuff that's below the curve. As in, looking for cheap stuff. Maybe not proven combatant cheap. Hollowed one's a good possibility. We probably will need to run a lot of cycling to get this guy to work. We might just run Kenra's Scrapper. This generally a 4/3. Has evasion. I think I'm more likely to take the Kenra Scrapper. The hollow one is a good one to take if you need this guy for a deck you're building up and constructed. That's basic, but in the end it's still a 4/4 no matter how cheap you manage to get it. So we're gonna take Kenra Scrapper here. Aerial Guide, basically this was Pegasus Courser's predecessor. Pretty good choice here. We've passed several Torn Molochs. I am not opposed to taking it, but I'm gonna take as many creatures with evasion as possible. As soon as we drop Locust God, he will be very good against he'll be very good in the late game, but if we can help our early game, why not? That in mind, Abandoned Sarcophagus, nice build around. Imaginary Threats, quite interesting. Actually, it's only now I noticed the art what this was all about. So this was Razakhet sweeping out an imaginary Jace. I'll just take that unsummon here. It's more reliable. Something we need. We could probably take Tragic Lesson. It's a decent card draw spell. We haven't drawn anything that is leading us towards deserts yet, so before I ever take Tragic Lesson, Claim to Fame, definitely something I'd want for aggressive red-black deck with a really low cost ceiling. I've taken quite a number of these, but we'll take Tragic Lesson here. Let's hope that's not a Tragic Lesson for us. Now I guess we take a Torn Moloch. We are kind of hurting on the removal side of things. Kindled Fury counts as a removal. Seer of Last Tomorrow. I've been skipping this quite a bit. Decent defender. But, from the looks of it, I might end up just running it as a defender, so I'm probably gonna get the Kindled Fury instead. Okay. If this were a normal draft, I would be hating Overcome. This card finishes games. And I've had one draft where this one won me all the way. That said, I'm not sure. I'm going to take the Seer because this is more playable. This is more playable for me. Okay, compute AI seems to be severely undervaluing Overcome. It's very weird. I'm gonna take Dunes of the Dead. One, because I really don't want Proven Combatant. Two, at least with Dunes of the Dead, if we still have one more pack, at least we could chance Ramen Up Ruins, or if near Deadlands, we might sneak in a zombie that way. So Torn Moloch number 3. So we're not hurting for playables. And that one's not really a playable. So we're gonna dump the Imaginary Threats on the sideboard. Ronus' Last Stand would have been nice. Spellweaver Eternal is probably more realistic. Unquenchable Thirst is removal, so is Sand Strangler. So if I take either one of these guys, I'm going to be focusing on deserts. Let's take a look at how our deck currently stands. Currently, ton of 3-drops. From the looks of it, and I can't. Okay, let's do a percentage check. It's mostly blue, so I'm probably more likely to take Unquenchable Thirst, but the removal tends to be more on the red side, so I'm gonna take the Sand Strangler, also because it's a creature. Aven Reedstalker is sort of a removal, basically could flash it in. I can take the Desert of the Mindful now, so to help activate Sand Strangler a bit. Let's see. Let me search your library. Okay, Vizier of the Anointed. Good creature for the deck that has Eternalize or Embalms, just not the deck that we're running. I'll take the Aven Reedstalker. That's the more conservative choice. I'm going to... Okay. It's 5/5 Hexproof for 7 or 5/4 Menace for 6. At least if I take Stripe Riverwinder, it solidifies us more on the blue side. So Firebrand Archer. Survivor's Encampment is a desert, but I'm probably gonna just take the Manolith. It'll help us accelerate into Locust God. Let's see. Countervailing Winds is something we can cycle, but I'm probably gonna cycle Granitic Titan instead. We could take Firebrand Archer just to have something on the early game. Because right now, we have no 2-drops at all. And well, technically, Granitic Titan is a 2-drop. It just 2-drop draw a card. So I guess that does count. I'm probably going to just take one Firebrand Archer. Wait, let's see. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it's reasonable. We'll take Firebrand Archer. Now we're going to take Ramen Up Ruins. This one, even if it's just by itself, it goes it's basically uncounterable 2 damage. We'll definitely take this one. We'll take a Defiant Kenra. Gilded Ceradon, something that we can go around with our deserts. It's just a shame we didn't manage to get more. Countervailing Winds, we probably gonna side this out if ever. I'm gonna take the Granitic Titan here. Pretty much running it as a cycle. Something to cycle though. Strategic planning. We don't have any Embalm or Eternalize strategies around here, so I don't want to take Graven Abomination. We could take Crypt of the Eternals. I'm probably just take it. It's not the best land, but I don't see myself running any of the other options. We'll take another Titan. Just take the Abomination. Yet another Titan. Yet another Abomination. Hazoret's favor. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target creature. So if we want to just keep crashing, this is a good choice. But let's see, Enigma Drake. We don't have that many instants or sorceries. A lot of, and speaking of which, we kind of need removal. So we're definitely gonna take Electrify here. I wouldn't mind Nefcrop, Entangler, or Evolving Wilds. Should probably be in the lookout for other deserts as well. Speaking of which, this is a desert we can get behind. Our alternatives: Minotaur Sure Shot. This does give us some protection against flyers. Desert Ceradon is probably better than any of the Granitic Titans. I'd more likely take one of these two red cards. Nefcrop, Entangler first over Minotaur Sure Shot. Floodwaters is a good way to clear the board as is Gale Strike, so we actually have plenty of options here. At this point, with the amount of talking I've done, we probably would be tight. I would have had to make a decision right now, so I'm gonna just trim this down a bit. I might even just strip out all the Titans as well. Strip out the Torn Moloch. Okay. I guess I could just take the... Okay, let's check our tree drops. We have quite a number of them. I'm gonna remove Seer of Last Tomorrow. Yeah, I could just take the Nefcrop Entangler, I suppose. Also, at this point, our deck is now more red than blue, so definitely Floodwaters is out. Gale Strike is kind of okay. It is a form of removal. Let's do a creature check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we could use some more creatures. Let's just curve things out with the Nefcrop. Failure to comply. Return target spell, not the greatest thing. Cartouche of Knowledge is decent. Enigma Drake, yeah, as I've said earlier, not the best. I will just take Cartouche of Knowledge here. Hazoret's favor, second one to come around here, but we kind of need more creatures first before we can consider this. So let's take a look. Blazing Vault. Watchers of the Dead is, well, it's a 2/2 for 2. Tormenting Voice is some sort of card draw. Might actually just take this one instead. Take Manticore of the Gauntlet or a Desert Ceradon. I could really use a Channeler Initiate. Let's just take the Manticore. Cartouche of Zeal will go a long way for us. I will take it. Yeah, Nimble Blade Kenra is the 2-drop we're looking for. We'll take that one. Slither Blade can't be blocked. Crop Skirmisher, something we can buy back. Scribe of the Mindful can buy back one of our instants or sorceries, but as it is, a lot of our stuff is not even in the instant or sorcery camp. It's more of non-creature, so I'll take the Attack Crop. Compelling Argument, we're not that deck. I'll just take a Hazoret's Favor. Probably not run it. Our top end now is simply 2 Striped River Winders and the Locust God, which should be enough. I'll take the Ceradon because it's a cycler. Consuming Fervor. Way to get damage in early. Okay, let's just take the other rare that we're never gonna run. Okay, so let's take a look at the deck minus some of the stuff that we removed. Probably not gonna run. Which one am I more likely to run among these three? We're definitely keeping Unsummoned, that's for sure. We actually just have a few cuts left, so it's not that bad. So let's take a look at our percentages. Yeah, most of our cuts are gonna be non-creatures, so +1/+1 and haste. We're pretty much using this more for the can't block aspect. Consuming fervor, yeah, consuming fervor is the one that's more likely to go. It would be nice to just drop this on the skirmisher or even the Nefcrop Entangler. Kindled Fury is a surprise trick. We'll go with that. Tormenting Voice or Tragic Lesson. I'm probably gonna ditch the Tormenting Voice. We're gonna ditch both of the Hazoret's favors. We do have quite a number of creatures, but this is a 3 mana that, okay, here's one thing that we can take advantage of. This is a May ability, so it won't kill us. It won't wipe our board completely. So I might actually just keep one in. Let's see what we would take out. Okay, we'll definitely take that out. Kenra Scrappers, we're keeping that for a reason. Note that we only have 2 deserts here, so we could probably drop one of our desert based guys. I'm probably willing to drop. Let's see, because right now these guys cycle, so at least they're not dead in the hand. That's pretty much the advantage of this format, where we can cycle our way out of a sticky situation. So probably the weakest one's probably the Nefcrop Entangler. At least this guy buys himself back. Because right now we're in semi-aggro, but not consistently aggro enough. I can actually just ditch Nimble Blade Kenra. This is actually the much weaker one. So let's take a look at our mana base. We're definitely more red than blue. We have a little extra red. This one buys us a little bit of life. It's mostly just there to filter us if we're in a pinch, but not a great way. Dunes of the Dead is just there to activate these 2 guys. Yeah, we probably could have taken that the Desert of the Mindful back there. So this is our deck. It's basically it's pretty much is it cycling. Though we don't have any real payoffs, it's pretty much we're just cycling in the hopes of hitting our top end. So is it cycling Locust? So is it a cycling Locust? That's pretty much, so that's our deck. We're gonna proceed to gameplay in a few minutes. Let's see, are there any other changes? Like, right now we're actually just running 15 and 8. We could make this 16 and 7. But what spell would I cut, for example? Could easily cut one of the cartouches. Maybe the Cartouche of Zeal in favor of another creature. We could put one of these guys back in. That's probably a better bet. So Fine Kenra is quite plain. At least Nimble Kenra can do defense, so I'll probably put him in. So it turns out we never ran any of our Granitic Titans. So basically, two of the first 2 packs gave us a few dud plays, but overall everything's quite fine. So I'm gonna run this deck as is. Let's see, that wasn't so bad. We're probably about a few minutes in. Let's see how far we can get with this one. Again, we want to see how many wins we can get before we hit 3 losses. We don't get a sideboard, so this deck might not turn out so well. We'll see. I'm quite happy that we've been doing quite well in draft, but probably not so great. Okay, we do have a turn 2 into a turn 3 play, so I can't complain about that. We also got Desert, so Gilded Ceradon will eventually trigger. We We could play some of our blue, but it's a bit of a stretch. So I'm gonna go run Mountain first. Into Crypt. Run Nephcrop Entangler. Into Dunes of... Okay, Festering Mummy. So we're gonna end the turn there. Drew into our Locust God. So I'm gonna actually just play the Nephcrop Entangler now. We're probably gonna avoid trading. If I attack, I'm gonna force the Exert because it's probably gonna die anyway. Our opponent's playing green-black, so there's probably gonna be a -1/-1 counter team. So let's see what our opponent plays, because we can... We can Kindled Fury our way out of this. We can also drop a Kenra Scrapper. So, let's see. Combat. Attack. I'm not gonna Exert. I'm gonna... No, I'm going... No, I'm not gonna Exert. I'm gonna offer the trade. Yeah, he's correct to not block there. And likewise, he knows we're not gonna block this way either. So my concern is we're gonna see a turn 3 Hooded Brawler. So what we can do is we can... So we'll see what our opponent attacks. Our main plan is to just hit with Kenra Scrapper, Exert Nephcrop Entangler. Yeah, we're gonna take 4 damage this way. Yeah, let's take it. So... Because we can kind of race our opponent. Especially now that our opponent's exerted, so we can race it a bit. Okay, opponent's played Obelisk Spider. So I'm going to combat. Okay, if I exert, it's +2/+0. I don't need to exert Kenra Scrapper. I do need to exert Obelisk Spider. Obelisk Spider. I need to exert Nephcrop Entangler. So we'll see how our opponent handles this. He's probably gonna block with Obelisk Spider. We're playing a big game of cat and mouse. I kind of wish I didn't hover my mouse over the cards. Yeah, he didn't fall for it, so I'm gonna hit him for 5. Okay. Wait, let's tap his for colorless first. No need for that. Okay, let's pay that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm gonna decline. I'm gonna discard a land. We're basically just aiming for Gilded Ceradon at this point. Probably an alert. Yeah. Basically, right now in my country, we're experiencing some amount of flood. It has been raining constantly for over a week. So a few issues here and there. I could have cast Tragic Lesson end step actually. Okay, he's gonna reveal. This is bad. He's gonna take Locust God away from us, that's for sure. But so we're gonna have to make do with Gilded Ceradon. Nice thing is our opponent hasn't played any other threat after that, so okay. He's managed to answer that, so but he knows next turn he has to answer this. So we're gonna just swing with Kenra Scrapper, unless he decides to hold back with Obelisk. Actually, just hold back with Obelisk. I can... Okay, we'll see what he does. Okay. Kenra Scrapper has Menace. You're not gonna block him anyway. So, I guess he's going in for chip damage. He doesn't have an Oshara Cultivator. So... So we're gonna just swing in with Kenra Scrapper. Maybe next turn we can get the Desert Ceradon. No. We're not exerting. We don't have to. So right now we do have... He knows we have the trick to get rid of Obelisk Spider. That's... might be why he didn't hold back to block. I think he's in the position where he does have to block. We're gonna take 3 from Bitterblade Warrior. Our opponent might have several green cards that are stranded. At this point, I kind of regret dropping Cartouche of Zeal, but... Yeah, I kind of regret dropping. Okay. Ornery Kudu. Interesting, he's gonna hit the Festering Mummy and hit our Necrop Entangler. He could do that too, I suppose. So, let's see. Yeah, let's see what's... Whenever you put one on a creature... Yeah, it doesn't have to be... R6, it just has to be his. Okay, here's an interesting trick now. We can attack with Gilded Ser... We can attack with the entire team, knowing that... Okay. We can attack with the entire team, knowing that they can Kindled Fury and Aerial Blade into one of them. Necrop Entangler is going to eat something, so I'm probably just going to swing with him anyway. So... What we're gonna do now is we're gonna make things very complicated. Our opponent can afford to make blocks, but he can't afford to block he can't afford to necessarily block everything profitably. So let's see. Gilded Ceradon. Let's make sure the Ornery Kudu doesn't get to block. So we can sweep this board a little bit. So if he wants to deal with Kenra Scrapper, he has to double block. He knows I have Kindled Fury. So right now he's taking lethal if he doesn't block. So he's kind of forced to block at this point. And the reason I say that's because he knows Kindled Fury exists. He's peeked in my hand thanks to this Doomfall. Which might not have been so bad considering I haven't drawn my 6th land yet. Okay, he's gonna have to double block. Okay, he's double blocking with these two. I'm gonna accept that. Let's see, so he's gonna take 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm gonna take that option away from him. Probably gonna put it in my Necrop Entangler since it guarantees that it dies. Okay, that works too. Okay, then we're gonna... Okay. Gonna play Aerial Guide. End the turn. We might cycle Desert Ceradon. But if I have no reason to cycle... Because I might draw a land, I'll probably just run the Desert Ceradon. Or our opponent could concede at that point. Our opponent didn't manage to draw a lot of threats. He was kind of removal light, I suppose. That's kind of what happened to him. That's just my guess. A lot of things could have happened along the way. So that was a fast game. So we're gonna do another one. Probably should remind myself that I have to make a screenshot of this. So looking over the situation that we have right now, so far the deck is doing quite decently well. We lost our Locust God, but we managed to play around the situation. I probably would have appreciated having another desert. That's kind of the feeling I have right now. So our opponent is mulling about whether he needs to make a mulligan. Seeing the Scorpion over here walking is quite, I don't know, I wouldn't say strangely therapeutic, but it's strangely interesting. Okay, so we have a turn 2 play. We need another land for a turn 3. We could use blue. At least it'll cycle our way through this. So I'm gonna keep this one. So we basically have a graduated cycle, but we could just use a land. There we go. So we're gonna end the turn there. We're gonna see what our opponent does. Okay, so he's in the Mummy's deck. I'm gonna cycle this now, but the second one I might have to keep. Yeah, we were saying so. Firebrand Archer. Our opponent's probably gonna get aggressive. Next turn he's gonna drop a Mummy. He'll hit us for 2. We just go for Torn Moloch. Yeah, he's looking at it. He could have a removal spell also. Okay, he's offering the trade. I will accept. He'll either eat the burn spell or eat the binding mummy. Both of them are okay. Sunscorched Champion. That's gonna be annoying. Can play Crypt into Torn Moloch. So we're not gonna trigger Prowess anytime soon. Our opponent probably gonna go on the offensive. He's gonna probably drop a creature after this. What's this? Okay, we're gonna need to start discarding cards. Okay, no blocks. Okay, let's take a look at the situation right now. I can afford to lose life for the time being. So now I can start discarding lands a bit. So I'm gonna play this one. I'm going to have to cycle the second one now, because we're kind of hurting for action. Okay, guess that works too. At least it gives us a little more fodder. So next turn we're gonna discard Manticore. I can play Gilded Ceradon. At least it prevents the blocker plan. I can do Ceradon into Manticore of the Gauntlet. Okay. Discard a card. Discard an island. Play a mountain. Okay, I'm gonna actually play the Gilded Ceradon first. Going to attack with the Torn Moloch. I want to see if our opponent actually blocks it. If he exerts, he can get Binding Mummy back. But from the looks of it, his deck is not zombie-centered. It does have Eternalize. I'm assuming there's a certain amount of Embalm also. Yeah, this Torment's very annoying. So, Dagger has Afflict. So he's going to equip it to Devoted Cropmate. It's going to hit us for 5. Okay. I can choose to trade these guys off, but this is not a very good choice. I'm actually just going to take the hit. Okay. Discard a card. Discard the mountain. Play the island. Okay, go into combat. Attack. Okay, this guy can't block. Shift to blockers. Opponent's probably gonna take 6. We'll drop Manticore. That is what we'll trade with Devoted or whatever he swaps to. I'm actually gonna put the counter here. So what's gonna happen is next turn I'm gonna sacrifice the Torn Moloch. Our opponent probably should have removal or another creature at this point. Hopefully something we can electrify nicely. Yeah, well, it is something we can electrify nicely. I did ask for it. So, resolve. Nope, sacrifice. Yeah, I had to be very careful on that one. Let's see. Ramen up. Okay, first I'm gonna electrify. Wait, cancel that bit. So... now, our opponent has to block. But this is going to be tough. We're going to go down to 7. It's going to be very close. I cannot let Sunscorched Champion come back alive. Okay, I'm going to have to leave the Ramen Ruins behind. So it's we're basically giving ourselves a land that we can. So Sunscorched Champion can't block. Binding Mummy's gonna go in front. We're gonna take 7. I have to discard this. Yeah. I'm not gonna sacrifice either of these creatures. So this is cutting it thin. Our opponent has to play another creature as a blocker, or he's gonna have to leave both of these guys behind. Either way is perfectly okay. Torment Scabs is a really good pick. Okay. He's gonna buy... okay. Yep, he figured that he has to leave this guy behind. Because what's going to happen is he's going to buy back Binding Mummy. And maybe drop another creature in the interim. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Yep, he's going to buy back Binding Mummy. He probably has another creature in the interim. He wants to bring us to as low a life total as possible. Ooh, that's a good one. So he had the pump spell to finish us off. We're a bit quite close. We could have... again, the Torment kind of did a number of us. It'd been nice if it allowed us to sacrifice landed permanents, but that would have gone against the spirit of things. Yeah, it's a good way to finish the game faster. So 1 win, 1 loss, not too bad. Kudos to our opponent. That was a very good play. So far. And, oh, if you notice, we finally dropped down to silver status. I didn't really know the mechanics of how they decide what your ranking will end up being. So I'm gonna keep this one. We'll ditch the Desert Ceradon. At least we got a turn 3 play. It's a bit on the slow end though. So yeah, just ditch it. Yeah, just ditch it now. Okay, turn 2 Ramen Up Ruins. Turn 3, I really probably should get Ramen Up as early as possible. This is not good. So I'm gonna play Ramen Up Ruins. It's gonna be just a bump in the road here. I could take the 4 damage, hold on to Torn Moloch, basically threaten the double block. Yeah, let's take it for now. Looks like our opponent's leaning on it, so let's drop an island. Let's play our Torn Moloch. We kind of need a few more mountains to get this to work, so I don't like the idea of trading 2 for 1. And it's possible we could get blown out as a result, but if I don't, I'm going to end up trading Gilded Ceradon for this. It's not quite great. So no attacks. Opponent's going to crack Traveler's Amulet. So next turn, Dunes into... It's going to take us quite a bit of mana to activate. If our opponent plays something on the lines of an enchantment to buff this guy... Okay, he knows I'm going to block this. I've been telegraphing it from a mile away. Let's see what happens. Okay, he's looking at his hand, so... I'm gonna trade these 2 guys for a combat trick and I still have to worry. Yuck. Blood Rage Roller, very good. Okay, I'm gonna cycle 1. Thankfully, this guy doesn't have trample, so... Okay. Next turn, I can play Mountain, play into Ceradon, then play Dunes, play into Locust God. I can cycle the other Striped River Winder. Okay, but I don't... I remember I barely have any two drops. One 2-drop just died. The other 2 drops in Necrotic Entangler. It's not going to tussle well. So it's just going to be a stop on the road. Going to end the turn there. Now, if our opponent ever drops another creature, I might consider it. But looks like I'm going to be just trading this guy for this guy. Okay, I might not be trading anytime soon. So, if we're going to cycle this guy. That sucks, but... Okay, so it's 6. It'll take me a while before I can electrify it, but I'm going to have... An unsummon would really be great at this time, so... He's gonna drop the Ceradon. He's just gonna be a bump in the road. I don't think I can afford to take 6 damage here. I will note our opponent... I have to pretty much block because... Our opponent seems to have combat tricks up his sleeve. So I'm gonna give this guy up. I don't have much of a choice here. I can't even play Locust God just yet. Oh, he's got his own Gilded. Okay, so... Yes. Does he have a desert in this? Okay, he doesn't have a desert yet. All he has to do is play a desert though, and it's game over for me. What I can do now is I could just electrify the Ceradon now. So I'm gonna take 5 damage for sure. Let's see if our opponent actually had the desert. Nope. Earthshaker Kenra, so it was just as... Not quite as bad, but... Still gonna be painful. So I will have 1 blocker, but not 2. I've already cycled 3 cards, so that's a problem. Yeah, he even had the thing to finish it. So I never got the chance to cast Locust God here. So not doing so well. This might actually be a very fast game. So 2 losses. Not a great way to start the week, considering I'm gonna have to redo the mono black video again. I had to take it down because, yeah, editing error. I did not seem to I didn't seem to press Control F1. So what happened was, it was 45 minutes of looking at a splash screen. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one because we have some action in turn 3. We don't have much action in turn 2. That's pretty much one thing I've learned about this format. But it didn't come across, but it didn't seem to align, that this format is a little bit more aggressive than usual. Sure, we could cycle our way out of danger, but there is an element of risk. So we're definitely gonna play Kenra Scrapper next. Actually, depends. If our opponent has a blocker, Aerial Guide might not be such a bad idea. Okay. Aerial Guide. I could have tried to fake it out, but I'd much rather have Kenra as a potential blocker. So next turn, play an island, Scrapper into possibly cycle, because we need better action at this point. We're gonna take 3. We're gonna hit back for 3. We could actually offer a trade. We'd lose 1 creature in the making, but no. The Aerial Guide is more useful alive to us. So both those guys have flying. Okay. Nope. Okay, this is basically signaling I have something. It might scare our opponent from attacking, which is not a bad deal. I can just keep hitting for 4 in the air for the time being. If it doesn't scare our opponent, we have Kindled Fury up then. Most likely we're gonna see a Lethal Sting. For those wondering, Lethal Sting, 3 to 3 mana to cast. Okay, no, Blighted Bat, that's okay. So Mummy Paramount's gonna become a 3. Okay, let's see how our opponent swings. He's gonna swing with it. We're gonna trade. Target this guy. Okay, so that one walked right into that. Guess we'll play Dunes of the Dead. Okay, I can swing with this guy, make this guy fly, so then the Kenra Scrapper would deal with the Kenra Eternal. Let's cycle this first. Then Aerial Guide's gonna make Nimble Blade Kenra fly. So we'll be hitting for 7, then 3 again in the next turn. Well, no, maybe not. Now we're gonna see if losing the Aerial Guide is a mistake. Really could use Ramen Up Ruins right about now. I guess Ramen Up Ruins might not have been so broken if it was activate only as a sorcery, just like the Hashef Oasis or the Shefet Dunes. No, or the If Near Deadlands. A bunch of them were activate as sorcery, a bunch of them were not. Probably if all of them were consistent, that might have been better, I suppose. So right now we're hurting for action. Maybe cycling was not such a great move. So opponent's considering what to play. He's Disposal Mummy. He's gonna exile. Definitely the Striped River Winder. Aerial Guide's probably also just as bad though. Okay, but not as bad as us drawing into lands upon lands upon lands. So next turn we're gonna take 3 damage. Nibblebait Kenra's gonna block. Actually no, we'll take 2 damage. We just block the Disposal Mummy. So this would be an ignoble end for us if we can't draw any action. Locust God would be really great. Okay. Does he have a 1-point removal? Probably has another creature. That's gonna be, or not. But we're not getting creatures either. Let's get our 7 mana. So we. Okay. Question. Definitely. I can hold back the Kenra Scrapper and just keep chipping in. Basically, what happens is, it will dissuade the Kenra Eternal. Because right now we're just racing at 2 damage each. I'm gonna just go with the Kenra Scrapper first. Opponent Gideon's Reproach or some sort of removal spell. Sandblast. So now we're holding on to dear life. Can't seem to draw a creature as if our life depended on it. Okay, we'll do this. We'll do the same thing. Opponent hasn't been playing much either. Okay, there you go. And it's a flyer. And we're still drawing lands. How many lands have we drawn up to this point? Okay, so this is going to be a very quick end for us here. I'm glad I'm kind of doing a double feature. Maybe if there's some time, I'll probably do another one. This one is not satisfying. Well, we did get a Locust God. The opponent started to drop all his gas. One time we did not need it. Seriously, this is a pet peeve of mine. The other person should say good game first. The one who's losing should be the first one to offer. Don't offer if you're the one in the winning position. Even if you suspect the opponent's losing, the person who's losing is the one who has to give it up first. Besides, you never know what the other person's actually holding in hand. In this case, it is somewhat justified. So I'm good. So I'm probably I could just concede. You know what? Let's just show everything. It's what we always do. So It's a you may, so we will take action. We'll attack. It'll get blocked by supply caravan. Then we say good game. Yeah, so this was highly unsatisfying. Now, that is the correct time to say good game. Let the loser say it first. That's pretty much a personal pet peeve. And now you're just rubbing it in. But well, sometimes you do draw a stack of lands. Okay, now you're just being an ass. Maybe not. It's very hard to say that. It's just it's just me being a little bit salty. I apologize for that one. It's really hard to say because there are a lot of things that that you're taught you don't know how others will take it. What is acceptable in your circle may not be necessarily true, and vice versa. I guess there's that case. So we're gonna claim our consolation prize. So we're still a few gems away from getting to competitive draft. So, but that is a decent amount of time for the video. So we never got to cast Locust God. We never really got that far. Sometimes the chips don't fall in place. The last game was really painful. How many lands did I draw in a row again? Well, but sometimes that's how it happens. But yeah, that's probably the one case I should not have cycled, but that's a bit of hindsight too. Anyway, that's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you liked what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about people saying good game first if they're in the winning position. Is it okay? Does it rub you the wrong way? And how does it feel on your end? Something out of curiosity. I'm really curious as to how you guys feel about that. There is no correct answer for this one. I honestly believe everyone intends well. This is probably a limitation of Magic Arena. Then again, you don't exactly want people reaching out to the keyboard, typing comments like So there's so many juicy comments that eventually end up becoming memes on other people's streams. Anyway, that's kind of something they wanted to avoid, I guess. Probably something you want to streamline for Android. Anyway, that's it for this episode and my last minute rant. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time.